Welcome back to another immaculate grid. This one looks interesting. I love how these new categories, one game as a certain position, they're very good. Because obviously this one there's probably like 1,500 players that I could guess. But Butch Hobson had 30 homers. And did Reggie Smith win a gold glove? He did. And Tommy Helms must have probably won something. 0.4. So I don't really care at all about players who won gold gloves as pitchers, because what is that? That doesn't really matter. I mean, they might save like 4 runs over the course of a season. So let's just go with Wade Boggs, because he pitched a couple games, 2%. And then Stan Musial was actually originally a pitcher in the minor leagues, but then he injured his arm, like shagging balls in the outfield in spring training, or something like that. And he was really bad as a pitcher. Except then they decided to change him to an outfielder. 0.5 for Stan, the man, and born outside 50 states, Armando Marsons, 0.04, and Baldomero Melo Almada, 0.02%. Reds 30 homer season, one of my favorite names, Ivel Goodman. That's such a good name, Ivel. I don't know. No, he was not Jewish, if you were wondering. Even though that name sounds Jewish, he was not. But Ivel is such an unusual name. Very interesting. I like interesting names. Now, I would never name my kids something interesting, because I think a lot of the times I think people are stupid for doing it. But yeah. And then pitched one game, and not an American. Let's go with Jose Acosta. Rarity score of 4, 0.003%. How many could I have gotten? 1,347. That is great. Babe Ruth. Look at that. Pitched one game, Babe Ruth. Always like it when someone from back then is represented in this, even if it is Babe Ruth. 79 Gold Glove winners who pitched. I mean, like Eric Ibar, who cares about that? Darwin Barney, he pitched in that 19-inning game against the Indians on July 4th, didn't he? Yes, he did. Of course I knew that. Because I'm that good. And then, 1,347. That is interesting. 0.003. And 46,816. I'm just using my calculator. So that means 16 people guessed him, which I find hard to believe that 16 people guessed Jose Acosta. Because he pitched 213 innings. Also, by the way, it says his brother was Marito Acosta. That's not true. They were not brothers. I guess they just assumed that they were brothers because they both pitched around the same time for the same team, and they were from Cuba, but they were not brothers. Well, they didn't pitch, they played for the same team at around the same time, but they were not brothers. Yeah, also, I mean, like, they thought that he was going to be something really special. And I guess they decided that after he had a 73 OPS plus as a 19-year-old, it's like, oh, he's 19, he'll never get better. We'll get rid of him. And then as a 22-year-old, he had a 118 OPS plus, and then he never played again. So, I mean, back then, guys were really stupid. But that's what happens when guys were just not good, not smart back then. But anyway, I feel like I rambled a lot in this episode, but I don't really care if I did because I think it's interesting. Hopefully you do. Probably don't. Also, the only person who's probably gotten this far is my mom. So, if you're not my mom, then leave a comment, I guess. But I will see you guys tomorrow.